Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to a rather damp Hockenheim here at... We are here ready for qualifying for round 13 of the 2016 CRC World Championship. In rather damp conditions. But we could well see more rain later in the session. So we do have we do have one grid penalty for this race, and that is Abbey Leggett for hitting Hannah Duran into a spin in Zandvoort. But this could be a good one, and a very interesting qualifying session here today. Q1 is just going to be a game of last over the line. And that is going to be very interesting stuff. So just moving on session. It's drizzling at the moment. I'm not sure if you can see if it's visible on the screen. It's just a little bit visible. But I don't think it's going to get wet enough for the use of the intermediate or the wet tyres. The rain is getting very light. The session is underway! And I was expecting that we would see a massive flurry of activity. And apparently they've had to restart they're restarting the session due to issues with tyres. So we have a little bit of a delay, but hopefully not too long. It was raining quite a bit about an hour ago. Making sure everyone's on the right tyres. And now everyone is. Okay, so I think this could be very interesting indeed to see what the weather is going to do in this session. And we are underway. We should expect to see a massive flurry of activity in the first few. And we do, sure enough, have quite a few cars going out on track, hoping to get that banker lap in. In case the rain intensifies. Hoping to get that banker lap in, because it is certainly looking like it might intensify. We have a few cars still in the pits, but it's very early stages. Everyone, at the moment, the pits is not the place to be. As Toby Jones heads out onto the circuit. Chloe, I thought that was Chloe Carter out there. We got James Chandler in his first ever CRC qualifying session. Gets out there. Everyone will be wanting to get out there to get a banker lap, and we've got at least 15 cars out there. Around half the field are on track already. But it's just a question of, is the rain gonna intensify at all? Matthew Tucson there having to make way for Dan Milliner. Alex Moores is out there. Interestingly, no sign of Wesley yet. In this drizzly Hockenheim right now. So Matt Coombs is about to finish his first lap of the session. He's the 13-0. Alex Moores is on the circuit. Interesting that Wesley hasn't gone out on track yet. Here is Alex Moores. So at the moment the rain has stopped, but there might be some on the way. Which could make things very, very, very interesting. As Alex Moores only goes second on a clear run and everything, a 13-1. That is very interesting. But it is a very crowded track right now. But if it does start to rain as Rosie O'Driscoll to the 13-0. Alex Moores must have had a drama somewhere on his lap. But still no sign of Wesley. Has he got a problem? Because surely he'd be wanting to get out there as quick as possible, considering the circumstances. Even if he does have the bad luck to come out there in traffic. As Chantal Hawk goes to the top in a 12.9. Chloe Carter going out there. But the rain has stopped. Apparently we're not expecting any rain for at least 30 minutes. That might take the pressure off. That's the information we're getting here. No rain expected for at least 30 minutes. So if Wesley does have to wait till later in the session to get out there, he might just get away with this. Still hasn't gone out on track yet. But 30 minutes might be around the time of Q3. So here's Chloe Carter, obviously in her first qualifying session for Dork, and probably only as well, considering that she's in that car whilst Hannah Duran serves her one race span. And Chloe Carter goes up to 6th. Chloe Carter has looked impressive this weekend. But still no sign of Wesley yet. That's really interesting. There are a couple of other cars who haven't gone out. We've not seen Quintanilla, Buchan or Wesley out on track yet. So Harvey Williams heading into the pits. Will Buchan going out there for his first run. Of the session. For Baranasso. Lucy Woodward down there in 18th. I don't think she's particularly safe. But she is out on track for another run. So here is the Baronasso. There is Wesley going out onto the circuit. I believe that's Esley. Yep, that is Wesley. But, oh, Rosie O'Driscoll has just completely hit Lucy Woodward there. Might face a penalty for that. Lucy Woodward was on a fast lap. I don't think that is not really on from O'Driscoll, to be honest. How Lucy Woodward is on a fast lap, then all of a sudden she has the Coombs, and she might well be in trouble here, might Lucy Woodward. She might well be in trouble. Lucy Woodward, could we possibly see falling in Q1? Wesley is on a lap ahead. But he's got the Gindana ahead, but this is only to get into Q2. And he's easily past the Gindana without any problem at all. He's on a 15.8 in the first sector. See what middle sector he did. He did have to pass Hardy, but I don't think he lost too much. It's purple second sector as well. And I think we are about to see the fastest time. And this is going to push Lucy Woodward into the drop zone. So we're actually to the 12.3. Lucy Woodward is coming into the pits. Now I'm pretty sure the team will be wanting to do a swift turnaround on that Baronasso to get Lucy out there in time to be able to go for another lap. Lucas Quintanilla goes 14th. And the incident is being investigated. Rosie O'Driscoll might well find herself with a penalty. So at the moment, both RTSs in there at the moment. So Lucy Woodward is the one we really need to keep an eye on. As into the pits comes Ben Blakemore. Matt Coombs goes second. Has gone second. So are we going to see... Now just looking at Louis Hyde, who's currently obviously in the drop zone, obviously we know we're probably going to lose the both HWRs. Unless one of them, we're almost certainly going to lose both HWRs from this session. And both speed techs. So Louis Hyde improves in the first sector. Now heading into the stadium section. He is on an improvement, is Louis Hyde, so he could progress. So across the line goes Louis Hyde. He improves, but not enough. Here's Elliot Everson. What can he do? He's up to 28th. Lucy Woodward has gone out there again, so that was a swift turnaround for the Branasso team. James Chandler on his debut, currently in 16th. So doing a good job in his one-off appearance at the Lockheed team. Now what Lucy's going to need to hope is that no one exits the pits when she, at the worst possible time for Lucy Woodward. So into turn one. There's no one there. There is someone else exiting the pits. It's actually her teammate ahead, but not close enough to cause any trouble. So Lucy doesn't really have to go for it here. If she can just have a half decent lap, she should easily get in. So into the stadium, or into the Mercedes section. Up to the stadium section. So here comes Lucy Woodward. As she rounds the final corner. And she goes 10th, so that is enough to get her in. So Lucy Woodward is through. And that has pushed David Bland into the drop zone. Who's just heading out into the circuit now. Tom Mungle's in and he's on a lap, but a 10th down on his previous best. And I believe he may have had, well, I don't think he had to back off too much there for the Coombs GP. But he's still not improving enough at the moment. Both toes are in there at the moment. Into the final corner. David Bland misses out. I think O'Connor's done. Considering she's still in the pits. Bad qualifying for RTS. Here's Max from Dragala. Is he going to improve? Or is he going to remain on the cusp? He doesn't improve. So he's going to remain on the cusp if, say, David Bland can improve. Bex Howie's gone out there. Harvey Williams is on a lap. What about David Bland? There's a speed tick ahead of him. I'm not sure if it's going to affect him on this lap. David Bland's improved in the first sector. But can he keep it together in the rest of the lap? Up towards the hairpin he goes. This is the crucial part of the lap. On whether he can gain time on Maximum Degala, or will he push Maximum Degala out? He's improving. How much would he need to improve by to beat Maximum Degala? He needs to find another couple of hundredths in this final sector. Is he going to get through? Is it going to be enough for David Bland to get into Q2? Has he found enough time? Yes, he has. David Bland has pushed Max Wundagala into the drop zone, and his tyres have gone. I think Wundagala's done. So it looks like we are going to lose Max Wundagala here. Are we going to see any more improvements? No, I don't think so. I think that's it. So, out of Q1 is Wundagala, Mungle, Morrow, Williams, Blakemore, O'Connor, Howie, Everson, Lang and Hyde. And drive to give a shout out to James Chandler, getting into Q2 in his first race in a car that has struggled to make it through in the past. A good effort from him. He never really looked in danger at all of getting knocked out of Q1. So, it's just the usual really out of Q1. So, it's time for Q2. And Q2's underway. It is David Bland who's first out on track. I'm pretty sure we might see another rush. to get out there. Considering it, they said 30 minutes, and then that would be during this session, actually towards the end of this session. Could be earlier, could be later, with these weather forecasts. But here is David Bland, having just scraped in by the skin of his teeth. Which, don't forget, Abbey Legit does pick up a 5-place grid penalty for this race. So David Bland heads into the hairpin. So, David Bland. $14.5. As out on track goes Matthew Towson. Abbey Legit does a 14.3. No sign of Easy and Ataroka out there yet. Actually, Essie's gone out there now. Got Marco Ifos ahead. And he gets through on the Wigglesworth. Cleanly, unlike some other drivers. Starting to get a little bit brighter out there right now. So here's Will Esley. Chantal Hawkes on a lap. Alex Moores is out there. So let's see what Chantal Hawkes does a 12.7. That is an impressive time from Chantal Hawkes. But let's see what Will Esley can do. Bit of traffic ahead. Not sure if that. I don't think that's going to affect him on this particular lap. Actually, one of them, I think, is Alex Moores. Trying to stay ahead of them. Let's see what Will Esley can do on this lap. He did struggle a little bit in that final sector. And it's only a 12.5. By his standards, that's not great. But here is Alex Moores. See what lap time he can do. I mean, Alex has really struggled this weekend. Has to be said. See what time he does. And he goes to the top in a 12.5. That's interesting. His best time of the weekend there. Here's Chloe Carter, but she's pitting. From 10th, I don't think that's the best idea. Considering there are plenty of other cars. Yet set a time. And rain on the horizon. But all eyes on the weather radar right now. At the moment we are actually in like a dry patch in the rain. Looking at the radar, it's a dry patch that's got a lot of rain clouds around. But we do definitely have some that is coming our way, and it might have an effect, I think, on Q3. People are saying we have rain expected in Q3. Rain expected towards the end of Q2. It's saying. As Dan Milner goes 7th. Chloe Carter is out. She'll be disappointed if that is how it all ends up. Everyone has set a time. So, out of Q2 is currently Quintanilla, Carter, Tucson, Leggett, Bland, Ifos, James Chandler, George Chandler, Hardy, and Peace. Well, I hope James Chandler and George Chandler don't get together on track, because that might be a commentator's nightmare. I mean, they're unrelated if anyone's asking. They just happen to have the same surname. Here's Marco Ifos. On a new lap, DRS open on the run up. To the hairpin. So here comes Marco Ifos. into the stadium section. He's improving on his previous best. But he doesn't improve up the order. Is that Carter going out on track? Yep, it is. That's a good decision. Kieran Hardy down there in 19th. He's under a bit of pressure. Here's Abby Leggett. Let's see what she can do on this lap. She's improving. Really using the apex in the stadium section into the penultimate corner. Now into the final corner. What's Abby Leggett going to do? And she doesn't improve. And don't forget, she does have a grid penalty. So we'll drop down the order. Kieran Hardy's got Leggett ahead. That could really cost him. As Chantel Hawk goes to the top on a 12.4. That is interesting. She is finding pace in that dog. Is Chloe Carter improving? Yep, she is at the moment. Let's see, she's 7/10 up on her previous best. Heading into the stadium. She goes up to 8th. So Carter is in. Hardy only went 12th though. Now what about George Chandler? Let's see what he can do. He crosses the line. He improves that to 13. Walesi's gone back out there. We need to see what lap time he can do. At the moment, it might be a disappointing qualifying for Leggett, who's going to start 21st as things stand. Alex Moores is improving. But we need to see who might get in. Without Lucas Quintanilla, he was up there earlier in the session. So Lucas heads up to turn 2. He doesn't improve in that first sector. But Lucas Quintanilla is on a personal best in the middle sector. And he improved, but he doesn't improve from 14th. Oh, contact, that is O'Driscoll and Woodward for the second time. Woodessie was unable to improve. I think that might be it. That might be it. Woodessie hasn't looked amazing in Q2. I think that is it for Q2. So a bit of an anticlimactic end to Q2. So Kieran Hardy is out. So James Chandler will start 18th from a good result on his first ever CRC race. So, Q3, no sign of rain yet. But we could well see some in Q3. Will the rain make an appearance in Q3? The rain is closing on the circuit. But in terms of Q3, there's a small band of it that the edge of it might touch. I think that, I'm not sure how much rain that's going to be. Looking at the radar. So, Q3. It's Q3 time. To see who is going to take pole. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a few cars going out there immediately. And literally as soon as the green flag is out, we see the Dork racing car of Chloe Carter out onto the circuit. Woodessie's gone out there. That is interesting. So, Chloe Carter has led the championship leader out onto the circuit. it is Essley we really need to keep an eye on, because this is in the battle for pole. Alex Moores has gone out there. Quite a way behind Essley on the circuit. But today, the battle for pole is not just about the two Natarokas. It's about a certain Dork Racing driver as well. Can Chantel Hawk get in the mix? So, into turn 1 goes Essley. That looked fairly good so far. Guiding the car into turn 2. Using all the road. It's a 15.7 in the first sector. Kind of a typical first sector. Not all the time is gained in the first sector. But he got a fantastic drive off the hairpin there. That would have gained him time. He went dangerously close to the sausage curb. 32.1 for Carter. 31.9 for Essley. This is where a lot of time is gained and lost. But he did. That was quick. Alex Moores, 15.8 in the first sector. That's slower than Chloe Carter. So, across the line goes Essley. It's a 12.3 so far. That is the time to beat. Let's see what Alex Moores is capable of. He's unable to respond. He's only done a 32.0. I don't think this is going to be pole. Unless he can do an absolutely mega final sector. And this hasn't looked mega to me in this final sector. Alex Moores is a 12.6, so 3/10 down. So, in terms of the two Natarokas, it is Essley on provisional pole. On a 112.3. What about Chantel Hawk? She hasn't been out on the circuit yet. Can she get in the mix? So into the pits comes Essley. I think if it stays dry, both cars will have another run. Here's Lucy Woodward. Into the final corner. And across the line. She goes up into 5th. Rosie O'Driscoll's set time. Only Chantel Hawk, who has yet to go out onto the circuit. And Dan Milner as well. We need to see what she is going to do. If she can take the fight to those Natarokas. Here's Matt Coombs. In the Master Force. Heading up towards the braking zone. In towards the Mercedes stand. Now into the stadium. Let's see what Matt Coombs can do. He goes third. So Matt Coombs has... That's a good time from Matt Coombs without Toby Jones. Really using the curb there. Are we going to see those Yanatarokas out for another run? And Toby Jones only goes 6th. I was expecting that to be more, to be honest. Here's Dan Milner. No sign of Chantal Hawk out there yet. But once she is out there, we need to see if she can take the fight to those Yanatarokas. Into the stadium. And Dan Milner goes 4th, so Master Force looking strong. Woodessie's gone back out there. Alex Moores is back out there as well. So they're waiting to see when Chantal Hawk's gonna go out there. So let's see if Woodessie can improve on his previous best. Alex Moores needs to find 3/10. That looks so fast at turn 1. He absolutely flew through turn 1 there. But he lost time at turn 2 and 3. Just like last time, he gets a good exit. He's absolutely hurling that Yanata Rogue around the circuit. And he's pretty much matched his previous best. In the middle sector. That looks good. Is this going to be an improvement for Woodessie? And it is! It's a 1:12.2. Woodessie rubs it in Alex Moores' face and enlarges the gap. Trying to find the words there. So Woodessie improves to a 1:12.2, enlarging that gap. Alex Moores needs to close. Still no sign of Chantal Hawk out on track though. You're going to have to get a move on if you're going to want to set a time without being forced to pit. Now what about Alex Moores? He does not improve. He's unable to respond. Something happened to Hawk earlier in the session, because surely that's the only... No, nothing. She just hasn't been out there yet. But in terms of the battle for the Anatarokas, it looks like Esley has won out. I don't think Hawk's going to go out on track this session, to be honest. Doesn't really look like it, does it? So it looks like she's... I don't know what would have happened to her to stop her going out there. That's a shame. She could have challenged those Unatarokas. There's a clearly some problem in there. Oh, she's going out there now, but she's probably going to be forced to pit at the end of it by the game. I mean, it is very silly that that happens, but... I do really hope the game allows her to finish this lap. The pit signals don't work after the session. So into turn 1 she goes. Checkered flag is about to come out now. I don't think she's going to be able to finish it. She's done a 15.8, which is a little bit down on Alex Moores. Actually a little bit up on Alex Moores, but down in the middle sector. Now, is she going to be able to finish the lap? I doubt it, to be honest. And nope, she isn't. I mean, they do need to do something about this, do the guys at ISI, because it is unfair that drivers are unable to finish their laps. But it is Wesley who has taken pole once again on a 112.268 ahead of Alex Moores on a 112.624. He obliterated him this session. And Matt Coombs on a 112.778. The rain that we were thinking might come did not arrive. But an interesting session. That we just saw. But talking about car drivers getting forced to pit, they're unable to finish their laps. And they do need to do something about that because it is really not fair. I mean, usually with things like that, they usually find some workarounds, but really, what can they do as a workaround for what? For a driver not being able to finish a lap time? I mean, there must have been some issue down there in that garage for her not to go out there, because surely then she'd know that she might get forced to pit if she didn't finish the lap in time. But it is really unfair, because it's also bad for us as well, because it's robbed us of the potential to see a dork possibly take the fight to the Inatarokas tomorrow. Everything just falls into place because Alex Moores showed absolutely no signs of being able to beat Leslie's time there. A third consecutive pole for Leslie. Kieran Hardy will be disappointed with 11th place on the grid. But a very interesting session that we saw. Marco Ifos will be starting in 19th. And the 4 back teams don't make 107%. They have been allowed to race in the past, so they will be allowed. So Tom Mungle in 22nd. Very interesting. We could be in for an interesting one tomorrow. Well, Phoebe O'Connor had clearly had some problem on her lap to only be able to do a 15.4. And they must have just not been able to get the second one in. So bad, that's a bad qualifying for her. So we almost have the great grid written down. And it should be a fascinating race tomorrow. So, we're all set for what should be an exciting race tomorrow. So, that is it. Thank you very much for watching. And we'll see you. Obviously got a CGP2 race coming up later, but as far as CRC is concerned, we'll see you tomorrow for race day. Goodbye.